So Jack, I've literally just told everyone you are the biggest man in sex work, really, and I don't mean just fan base. I mean physically, you're an absolute tank. I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never come across anyone bigger than you.
I would say there's a lot of big guys out there. There are.
Hmm.
There's a lovely guy called Gerald, Austrian guy.
Yeah,
He's quite big. You've got
I know what you're on about.
Viking Will. He's quite a big boy as well. Like, there's lots of big guys out there. I think where I differentiate myself in that context is I'm certainly the biggest guy that does full gay, straight, and I do a lot of stuff that nobody does. You know, proper lift and carry, trampling, extreme BDSM, medical stuff, blood, everything. So in that context, I think it's sort of a big guy, but a big guy that does all of it. So that's why I say the biggest XXX guy in that context, because there are some big guys that just do, you know, nudes and straight and stuff like that, and that's absolutely fine. But like in terms of actual hardcore XXX, that's where I sort of nail myself.
But I have seen actually pictures of you with some of these other bigger guys. Like, I mean, these big guys, I would still class them as absolutely massive. But then I've seen a picture of you next to them, and I'm like, oh no, you make them look like average, not average. You make them look.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's tricky. It's tricky because I think like it's one of those ones whereby it becomes difficult sometimes for me because a lot of my fan base want to see me with twinks, which I shoot a lot of me banging twinks and stuff, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But they also want to see me and another big guy. And like, I think sometimes it's difficult if your market is all on you being the big guy. Wanting to shoot with another big guy presents all these it's like maybe like hang-ups for people.
Yeah.
They don't want to shoot with another big guy in case they don't look as big and all this, that, and the other. But it's one of those ones where I actually think it's the opposite, because when you then get two big guys together, that's a whole nother level of fantasy for the fans. So it does work. And it might be, for example, like that, I don't know, say you and me did a scene with a twink in the middle of us. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I might look bigger than you in the chest and shoulders or whatever. Yeah. But then, like, you know, it might be your dick might look bigger than mine. You know, that's okay. Like, so it's kind of, it gives it's one of those ones of like, I think as much as like getting big guys together, unfortunately, is so difficult to do.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've shot a couple of videos with a couple of like quite bigger, you know, foreign guys, but in terms of British guys, not many of the bigger guys want to do full sex, shall we say?
Yeah.
So that's which you know, again, it's one of those things. It's absolutely up to everybody what they want to do in their content. It is. But it would be great if we could do more of that, I think. But I mean, I was meant to meet up with Gerald. We were meant to do a week shooting, but unfortunately he had COVID. He had COVID, kept testing positive for nearly 3 weeks, so we didn't manage to meet in the end, but we will do early next year, I think.
3 weeks of testing positive. He must have had a nightmare quarantining.
Yeah, he's based in Austria, so it was just you had to put negative PCR to fly, and the PCRs can keep throwing up positives for a while. Yeah. It's not antigen testing yet in a lot of places, so.
Okay. I actually did want to ask, talking about the size thing. How much do you weigh now, and what is your biggest ever weight? What's your peak weight?
So right now, in all honesty, I'm 152.
That's kilos, yeah.
Yeah, which is very light for me. But some people know, but I've torn both my left and my right biceps. I've got distal tears in both. They're still functional. They're still working. I can still do everything with them. I can still even flex them. But I've got to have double bicep surgery. Ooh. So I'm trying to bring my weight down slowly to about 145, which gives me 5 kilo wiggle room with the limit of the hospital and the anesthesiologist to do the surgery. Heaviest I've been comfortably is like 168, 169. Yeah. I have been over 170. That wasn't pleasant.
No.
Blood pressure goes funny, etc. The thing you've got to remember as well is, like, when I'm walking around at these sort of weights, I'm walking around carrying a lot of tissue, but also carrying a lot of fat as well. Like, I'm not lean at 165.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's part of the way I've found people want to see me. There's 1,000 guys out there with shredded abs. There's not that many big muscle bears. You know, you're still clearly muscly and in shape, but my stomach, okay, for example, like if I'm fucking from the side, you'll see my abs, but you can also see, you know, big hairy stomach. They want both. And I think it's like realizing that niche is a lot smaller. There's a lot less guys fit in that niche than the ab guys.
Yeah.
So I tend to keep myself more there body composition wise. But I mean, I have done both ends of it. You know, so
you know, it's probably more fun and for your normal life to not be a shredded guy. You can actually have a pizza, have an ice cream, and not like be guilty.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, and I think, you know, it's easier to eat the right foods and then have a pizza and ice cream on top of that than it is to, you know, the other way around. So it's sort of it's a lot more comfortable, I suppose, as we say, to maintain that way round.